You wake up already feeling behind. You grab your phone before your brain is even fully awake, scroll for just a minute, and somehow end up lying there for half an hour consuming videos you won't even remember tonight. Then you finally get up, promise yourself today will be different, sit down to do something important, and suddenly your brain acts like answering one email requires the emotional strength of climbing Mount Everest. So instead, you check notifications again. You clean your desk. You stare into the fridge without being hungry. You walk around your room pretending you're thinking, and the entire time you keep telling yourself the same thing. I just need more motivation. But deep down, you already know something feels wrong, because you're not completely lazy. You can spend hours focused on things that entertain you. You can suddenly become energetic when someone invites you out, when drama appears on your phone, or when a random video hooks your attention. So the problem isn't that your brain can't focus. The problem is that your brain has started rejecting effort itself. And the worst part is, you trained it to do that without realizing it. There's something happening inside your mind called the comfort reflex. And until you understand how that reflex secretly controls your decisions, every goal you set will keep collapsing in the exact same way. Your routines will fail, your discipline will disappear, your motivation will keep feeling temporary. Because the real problem isn't that you can't work hard, it's that your brain has become addicted to escaping discomfort before effort even begins. And by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why. Your brain was never designed for constant stimulation. Most of human history involved waiting, silence, repetition, and boredom. You had time to think while walking somewhere. You had time to stare at the ceiling without immediately reaching for entertainment. But now your brain experiences stimulation every few seconds. The second you feel bored, you open an app. The second you feel awkward, you check your phone. The second your thoughts slow down, you play music, open videos, or start scrolling. Your brain never gets a chance to sit still anymore, and that changes your relationship with effort. Because effort feels slow, real progress takes time. Learning a skill takes repetition, getting in shape takes consistency, building confidence takes discomfort. But your brain is now surrounded by instant rewards. You can get entertainment, validation, distraction, novelty, and dopamine within seconds. So when you sit down to do something difficult, your brain compares it against all the easier rewards available around you, and naturally, effort starts losing the competition. This is why you sometimes feel mentally exhausted before doing anything productive. You wake up, scroll through 15 different emotional experiences online, jump between messages, videos, opinions, news, and notifications, and then wonder why your brain feels foggy afterward. Your attention wasn't resting, it was sprinting. Every time you rapidly switch focus, your brain burns mental energy, recalibrating itself. So by the time you actually try to work, your attention already feels fractured. You've probably noticed this weird moment before. You sit down to focus, open your laptop, type one sentence, then suddenly feel an overwhelming urge to check your phone for absolutely no reason. Not because you got a notification, not because something important happened. Your brain just wants stimulation. That's because your dopamine system has been trained to expect novelty constantly. Dopamine isn't really the happiness chemical people think it is. It's more connected to anticipation. It pushes you toward potential rewards, and scrolling is basically an endless machine of unpredictable rewards. That unpredictability matters more than people realize. Your brain gets more hooked when rewards are random. That's why you keep refreshing apps even when nothing interesting is happening. Your brain thinks, maybe the next swipe will be exciting. It's the same psychological mechanism behind slot machines. Except now the casino lives in your pocket, and every time your brain chooses tiny, easy rewards over meaningful effort, your tolerance for discomfort shrinks a little more. That shrinking tolerance becomes dangerous because almost every meaningful thing in life begins with discomfort. Exercise feels uncomfortable at first, studying feels uncomfortable, starting a project feels uncomfortable, difficult conversations feel uncomfortable. But instead of sitting with discomfort long enough for momentum to kick in, you've trained yourself to escape it instantly. The moment resistance appears, you reach for stimulation. You grab your phone, you open another tab. You suddenly decide now is the perfect time to reorganize your room. And here's the trap. Your brain mistakes relief for happiness. The second you avoid discomfort, you feel temporary relief, so your brain thinks escaping was the correct decision. That creates a loop. The more you avoid effort, the more threatening effort feels next time. Eventually, your brain starts reacting to normal tasks like they're emotional danger. That's why even simple things sometimes feel weirdly heavy. Replying to emails feels exhausting. Starting assignments feels painful. Making one phone call suddenly feels like preparing for battle. You also slowly lose trust in yourself without noticing it. Every time you say, "I'll start tomorrow," and don't, your brain records evidence. Every unfinished habit becomes another broken promise. After enough repetitions, part of you stops believing your own intentions. You stop identifying as someone who follows through. And once that identity forms, motivation becomes unstable because your brain expects inconsistency from you before you even begin. This is why motivation feels temporary instead of reliable. You keep trying to force action using emotion alone. You wait until you feel ready. But readiness is often an illusion. Your brain rarely sends motivation first. Action creates momentum. Momentum creates emotional reward. Emotional reward reinforces action. But if you wait for motivation before starting, you stay trapped in hesitation forever. Your brain learns movement through movement, not through thinking about movement. There's another problem hidden underneath all this. Overstimulation destroys boredom, and boredom is actually important. Some of your best ideas probably appear in the shower, during walks, or while staring out a window. That's because your brain finally has room to process thoughts instead of constantly consuming new input. But now, the second boredom appears, you destroy it instantly. You can't stand in line without checking your phone. You can't eat without watching something. You can't sit quietly for 5 minutes without feeling restless. That restlessness isn't random. Your nervous system has adapted to constant input. Silence now feels unfamiliar. And when silence feels unfamiliar, your own thoughts start feeling uncomfortable too. So instead of processing emotions, you distract yourself away from them. You scroll when you feel anxious. You consume content when you feel uncertain. You stay busy so you don't have to sit alone with your thoughts long enough to confront what's actually bothering you. This is why so many people confuse distraction with relaxation. But endless stimulation doesn't truly relax your brain, it overloads it. Real recovery usually feels slower and quieter. Going for a walk, sitting outside, focusing deeply on one thing, sleeping properly, having uninterrupted conversations. But your brain has adapted to speed, so slower forms of recovery initially feel boring, even though they're the things that actually restore your mental energy. And eventually this affects your entire self-image. You stop seeing yourself as capable of hard things. You start labeling yourself lazy, inconsistent, undisciplined, distracted. But those labels miss the real issue. Your brain simply became conditioned to escape discomfort automatically. You practiced distraction more than focus. You practiced avoidance more than persistence. And whatever your brain practices repeatedly becomes easier over time. So what exactly is the comfort reflex? It's your brain's automatic habit of escaping discomfort before growth has a chance to happen. The second effort feels mentally heavy, you unconsciously reach for something easier. Stimulation, distraction, avoidance, tiny comforts. And every time you do that, your brain learns the same lesson again. Discomfort must be escaped immediately. That's the silent habit secretly destroying your motivation. The solution is not waiting to feel more inspired. It's rebuilding your ability to stay present when things feel uncomfortable. That's the shift that changes everything. When you stop immediately escaping boredom, your focus slowly returns. When you begin tasks before feeling emotionally ready, momentum starts building again. When you sit with discomfort instead of avoiding it, your brain relearns something powerful. Effort is not danger. And once your brain stops fearing effort, motivation starts coming back naturally. Not because you became a different person overnight, but because you finally stopped training yourself to run away from resistance every single day. That's when your confidence changes too, because confidence is not built by thinking positively about yourself. It's built when you repeatedly prove to yourself that you can handle difficult things without escaping them. And in a world where almost everyone is addicted to comfort, the moment you learn to stay calm inside discomfort, you become dangerous in the best possible way.